So when I converted over my stock DR10 tub chassis to the Beef Tubes brisket chassis, I really never gave it a fair shake. It was late in the season. I really wanted to get fast with the breakout car, so I kind of pushed it to the side. I probably only have a total of 10 hits on the thing, but we've got some stuff here. We're going to change that here coming up this spring. What's up, guys? It's Chad. Welcome back to the Dorky and 40 RC channel. We focus on FPV, we focus on no prep drag, all kinds of fun stuff here. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and take a look back at all of the older videos. There's a lot of great information in there for you. So we've got a lot of content coming up. I'm actually going to be off of my main job for maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks, hopefully a little bit less. I did injure myself. I pulled a muscle in the, like my lower ab or something, lifted my telescope in and out of the garage. Being dorky and 40 is rough. If you want to support my telescope endeavors, I'll put a link in the description below to my secondary YouTube channel that I have been working on. So we got a lot of cool no prep drag stuff that's been kind of piling up here that we're going to dive into. One thing that's going to be coming up on an upcoming video is this new wing set, which is totally awesome. This, I don't want to butcher the company's name. I'll put it down here. This is pretty much one of the most used wings that there is right now. Mark Vine and a bunch of other people are using it. Going to be putting that on the Corvette body. Also have the matching splitter, so we'll see how that all goes together. Then we're going to be doing some more mods to DR10. We've already flashed the DRK that's inside of it to the brand new 7-stage software. So we're going to be working on that, and of course, getting everything ready for spring. The first two things, though, that I'm going to do with the DR10 is address a couple things that I had issues with that were very apparent when I was, well, now that I know a little bit more what I'm doing. First thing is we need to change the wheelie bar on this thing. I would rather go with a shocked wheelie bar, but the options are kind of limited. So what I ended up going with was the Drag Race Concepts wheelie bar here. I previously have ran the Exotech wheelie bar, but since moving to the brisket chassis, I need a little bit more adjustment down to get this down back here. Plus this is kind of a weak point back here. I've actually snapped the ends off here with the standoff a few times now, and you can't buy any replacement sides to this. You have to buy an entire new wheelie bar. So if this snaps on me, it's actually just cheaper to go ahead and buy new sides for the Drag Race Concepts bar. And of course, we're going to get a lot more adjustment out of it since it is their slider variation. First thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to work on the whole front end of this car. You can see pretty much how it's rigged up right now as I have the old school McAllister body clip mount here to get everything out, mount the body posts in the front. And this thing's seen better days. It's kind of bent up and tweaked, and you really need to add some weight to the front of the DR10, at least I do. And right now it's kind of janky because I've just got stick-on weights kind of stuck down there and zip tied and everything else, which really isn't the most beautiful thing. It works and it's definitely fine to get you by, but it's not the most precision when it comes to actually balancing out the car. So what we're going to be replacing it with is this Exotech DR10 front bumper set. And the thing that's awesome about this is that in the front of this, you know, we'll finally have a good flat straight mount so my bodies will go on correctly. But we'll actually have this big thick rubber foam piece here that we can have at the front of the car. And what my intention is going to be is to hog some of this out so that way we have a place to put our weights. What I would really like to do is put one of the Bob's weight boxes from 5-Star up here, but after looking at it, I don't think that that is going to work. So we're going to try to craft out a way where we can just add weights and they're going to stay in place and everything else. Maybe we can cut or burn some slits into here in order to add weights in certain pieces all throughout the bumper to work on our corners and everything else. Kind of similar to the full frontal bumper that 5-Star sells for the breakout chassis. We've got a pack of smaller, lighter weights here. These are 1/4 ounce a piece, and these will just basically slit into different spots. And we can put slits maybe here in the corners if we want to get more on our corner weight. So I think this is going to be really a nice way to work and clean up the front end of the DR10. So inside the pack, of course, you've seen this. We've got some instructions, which are always a welcome addition. We've got a nice carbon fiber piece here as well. We've got a couple other carbon fiber pieces and mounts to go along with that. And then we also have a kick-up plate here, which is a metal kick-up plate. And it looks like we've got some additional standoffs here that will probably, they're gonna go right on top of the front bumper there. And then that's gonna allow us to basically push this foam piece down to it and make everything all smooth and comfortable. So let me get to work on tearing apart the front of this DR10. And we'll get going on installing this and see how it looks. So I remember from the brisket assembly that getting these metal and plastic parts to combine was a little bit difficult. And what I'm talking about is all these pieces here in the front. You can see the red of the brisket chassis kind of sneaking up through there. And all of this has to be sandwiched together. And then of course we're gonna screw up through the bottom there. And we still have our whole front shock tower kind of swinging around here in the front now. So we need to take a quick look at the DR10 manual to see if I just go ahead and just screw right in, because what we had there before was this carbon fiber plate from the McAllister body mount right there, you could see. And that was pretty nice to have right there for a little bit of strength and rigidity. I might try to reuse that. Talking about this part right here in step 4 here, all this in the front, looks like it just screws right into the plastic there, but I think we're gonna go ahead and keep that carbon fiber piece in there just for some rigidity. I don't really see a good reason to keep that in there, so we'll just make life easier on ourselves, and we just put the 4 screws right in there, and now we've got a good solid front end. So let's move on to the next step. Next step here, according to the instructions, is just to install this little carbon fiber piece through the bottom. And there's 3 M8 screws, and luckily these are all M8. This is threaded, and it does say to go ahead and use some Loctite on there when we are going to secure this to that mount. So we'll drop some Loctite in there and go ahead and secure that up. All right, so I just put the center one in. Looking at the instructions here, pretty cool, ingenious idea how to do this, but we're gonna need to get some set screws actually if we want to reuse our body post to go ahead and mount. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So went ahead and secured the bumper with the center part here in one of the carbon fiber discs, and that leaves us 2 body mount locations right there. And with these extended body mounts that I have, what we do is we would actually end up getting some long set screws. I don't really have any that long. I'd probably have to go to Home Depot or something and pick some of those up. And we would thread those down into these standoffs here. And then what we would do is take our body posts, which I'm probably not going to use these because they're real bent and chewed up and everything. And the body posts are going to go there, and that is how the body is going to mount. Now, obviously, you can see that we've got quite a bit of width difference here between the 2 mounts. So we're probably going to have to make a couple new mounting holes, which isn't a big deal. Wasn't expecting that to line up. But again, you can just see just how much better this actually is versus having this on there, which was pretty janky. And the one thing I do notice right away is it's definitely a lot lighter. So my idea of hogging all this out and packing weights in here is definitely going to be something that we're going to have to do. This is the amount of weights that we took out of here. You can see that those would fit just perfectly inside there when stacked in there like that. But I want to make it a little bit cleaner again, and we can actually come all the way out here if we need to, and if the Corvette body will allow us. Now, they do mention in the instructions that you can trim this if you need to for different kind of bodies, and those are actually what these bumpers are right here, as far as they're kind of like a line if you have a body that's more flat in the front, like they mentioned the Malibu body, so you can get rid of that material, or you can notch this out right here. But let's get the C7 and see how that looks. So we have the world's pinkest body right here that we're going to throw on, and we'll just line everything up here in back. All right, and everything dropped on there really good. And there went some of the weights. So that's how much clearance we have here in the front. You can see we've got plenty of clearance to go still. The thing that I actually kind of like about this right now is if I position my body post correctly, you know, we're going to be really far out here on the corner, which is going to be great to holding this front nose down and trying to keep it from folding in on us. The other thing is I can press it down really hard, and that is going to, that's going to keep the cowl of the C7 body. It's literally right on the shock towers there, which is pretty great. We know that the rumor is they're going to be coming out with a new one. And I know for aero purposes, a lot of people have been removing these cowls and stuff as well. But right now, you know, the shock towers are right there. And if I look right inside, I literally have the foam bumper right underneath there. So that is where my body holes are going to go. And that's going to work out just absolutely perfect. So that was a fairly simple upgrade that is going to have huge performance advantages down the road. Going to get that finished off with the set screws and the body posts. I always hate having extra holes in my body that aren't there. Maybe we can cover them up with something like stickers or something to make it look a little bit more scale and, you know, that kind of stuff. If you guys have any questions about the brisket DR10 or anything, again, please check out some of my older videos that I did all kinds of stuff on the DR10. I think we got it down to a 2.3 second car. Let me know if you have any other questions. And until we can get out on the road, we'll do as much work here in the shop as we can. We got plenty to do. So thanks a lot, guys, and peace.